Next week's
How
my
are you?
next week is my turn.
I know. And then I'm gone right after that, and then I think you're gone right after that. It's just the season of travel for
We
us.
just do this
So
I mean, we need to
we
actually get
do.
on a trip together. That needs to happen. We
We
need to
do.
stop trading.
Absolutely do. Well, we buried the lead, guys. This is a time for Today in Travel. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. I think we've said it a couple weeks in a row now. We're now on Instagram, so that's exciting. So I am Jason Poole. I am a travel advisor with Cruise Planners, and this is our weekly time just to come together, talk about all things travel, from cruises to credit card hacks to airline news. We cover it all. And joining me, as always, is Miss Haley. Introduce yourself for those who don't know how they possibly don't know who you are, but
Or why I know what I'm talking about. My name
yeah.
is Haley. I own the hotel sales support company, Hospitality with a Flair. Been in hotels for almost 18 years now. I want to say 17, but it's almost 18 now. And I write the travel blog Haley with a Flair. Always popping all over. Love Europe, Disney, cruising, you name it. And yeah, this is just what we do when the camera's
Nice,
on.
nice, nice.
So, I mean, like you said, we kind of buried the lead here. You were on MSC last week.
I
I'm going
was.
to Princess again next week, but
Yep.
I think everybody is very much dying to know because you are definitely in all things, in your personal travel. Like, it's not to say everybody's travel style is, bad or one way, it's all different. But you're a very premium guy and
Yep.
do a great job at showing your clients premium experiences that maybe also aren't as expensive as they thought they would be.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
seeing you on MSC, I think a lot of people were surprised and
You
had
have
questions.
you
And I
have
think,
no idea. You have no idea how many how many texts and Facebook DMs and Instagram DMs are like, you're on MSC. Interesting. What's that all about? So
so I think the main question you probably got is, would you do it again?
yes, yes, I would.
Heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
I would, with a giant asterisk. Only in yacht club.
Okay.
Only in yacht club. Their yacht club experience really was exceptional. So yes, I absolutely would do it again.
So for our
It,
newbies that maybe don't know as much about MSC, can you describe what Yacht Club is?
Absolutely, yeah, great point. So MSC is with the fastest growing cruise line, and we had someone from MSC on about a month ago, kind of talking about it. They're a major brand in Europe, and a couple years before the pandemic, they were really trying to make a presence for themselves in America. Didn't go great at first, but the American market is just different than the European market, and we just have different types of
Wants,
passengers
needs. Yep.
needs. Right, this is totally different. So they've revamped. They're more than doubling down. They're tripling down on the American market. They have tons of new ships coming out. You're going on one, if I
Hi.
remember correctly,
Yes, World
and
Europa next month.
yeah. So their suite program is very much like with Norwegian, with the Haven, Celebrity, the Retreat. So MSC's suite program is called Yacht Club, and I was, you know, MSC is a very kind of entry level, budget friendly cruise line.
Mainstream. Yep.
Yeah, like mainstream, but their yacht club is there was nothing basic about it. There's nothing subpar about it. So, people have said, "Oh, you got to try Yacht Club. You got to try Yacht Club." I've been booking Yacht Club for years, never experienced it. I was like, you know what? I've got to get a chance. I've got to get on there and see it. So I found a sailing that had, pretty good pricing, availability. Kind of booked it last minute and experienced their suite program, Yacht Club. And it's very much a ship in a ship experience.
Kind
So
of like the Haven. So with that, does Yacht Club have its own pool?
oh yeah, yeah. And so
Own pool, own restaurant.
own restaurant, own lounge, sun deck, a giant jacuzzi, and a hot tub. Like it
Okay.
I mean, you could just kind of stay. yeah, and look, a lot of people do. Like there's people who book it and they really don't leave. Yeah, but it's really it's big. I
Because
mean,
you need a key to get into the yacht club area. Like when we say ship in a ship, for those of you that are new, like you need to get it. You need a key to get into this area, and this is all behind closed doors, not
oh yeah.
open to the
So
public.
like on Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, less so on Royal on some of the new ships, they kind of put all the suites together. But like on Celebrity, your suite could be next door to a regular veranda. You know, there's kind of all
That was,
over.
yeah, that was mine. It
Yep,
wasn't anywhere near
all over
Luminae, the things.
all
Yep.
of a ship. But when you're on MSC Yacht Club, and I'm going to put Norwegian's Haven in this as well, especially in their new ships. You have to scan your card to even get like behind the glass walls to
To the
even
hallways.
to the hallways. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So, what was your favorite part?
You know, I think it really was that ship in a ship experience. I mean, it was almost like having two different experiences at once. So I took a friend with me, and that was his very first cruise. And I joked with him. I said, "You're almost having two cruises like in a week, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're getting the mainstream, big parties, pool decks, the kid stuff, and you're also getting Explorer Journeys. You're getting like a Regent or a Silver Sea experience. I mean, it really was a tale of two cities, so to speak. Um, I mean, I would say a favorite food is also excellent. Like you did not go hungry on this ship. Okay, you did not go hungry.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
a lot of people talk about, like cruising and the food always comes to mind. But I mean, I will tell you guys, I got a text from Jason. He's like, "Oh my God, I can't stop like eating
it was bad. It
the pizza."
was
Like, how was the pizza? Because I was
pizza.
told you to try the pizza.
Pizza was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It was amazing. I
You had
mean,
your butler bring pizza to your room, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
And
one
yeah,
day
her.
we wanted to have lunch in the room, so we told the butler that morning, "Hey, can you bring us, so and so pizza like 12:30?" And he was like, "No problem." He's like, "What else do you want to drink?" And we were like, "I don't know, champagne." He was like, "Done." Butler shows up, white tablecloth, whoosh, table, plate, sets it all up. I mean, it was the food was amazing. Um, yeah, so I said that's what I liked the ship in a ship. The food was excellent.
Okay, so what surprised you the most, in your opinion?
So I've done a lot of suites on cruises, especially the Retreat and Celebrity, and I love going to the lounge. That's kind of a quiet place. Not a, I mean, you've been on Edge Class in the lounge. It's
Yeah.
not really that busy in there.
No, it's like I worked there very, very frequently.
Same, same. On MSC, because it does have that ship in a ship concept, the lounge is a much more central part of the experience.
Okay.
So, full bar set up. Like the retreat has a full bar, but like, the Haven has like a full bar. The retreat seems like it's more like a glass of wine, champagne,
Yeah.
things like that, right? Yes, they can make some cocktails, but they're not making bougie type cocktails, right? So yacht club, dedicated bartenders, um, food, breakfast, lunch, like nice snacks at dinner. I mean, again, the food they did not let you go hungry on this ship. Okay, like even the little. I mean, you could go to the yacht club lounge and just grab a bite for breakfast and it was fine. So I think the lounge is one of the things that surprised me the most because it also had an evening vibe to it. So they would have live music in there every night and it was open till 1 a.m.
That's a
So
good vibe.
right, I mean, so it really kind of had that ship in a ship concept. So you very much could just stay in yacht club at night. And we did. We met some fantastic people. There were a couple of nights we just stayed in there, had some cocktails, talked to people in the lounge. So I would say the lounge experience is kind of what surprised me the most. And I'll put a second surprise was the butler service really was extraordinary. Like I put this on my Instagram story. Night one, I wanted to watch the Grammys in the room. See Taylor Swift win Album of the Year for
I
Midnights.
mean,
Um, and so I ran to the lounge to get a drink, whatever. And the butler sees me. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, we're being lame tonight, thing in the room, watching the Grammys, whatever." And he was like, "Get back to it, Mr. Jason. What do you want? I'll bring it to your room." And he brought drinks, brought snacks. It was just nice that the butlers were in the lounge. They were helping serve drinks, would
well,
bring.
you said they brought all your stuff on board when you boarded, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like they meet you. So when you get to the terminal, they board you in like groups. It's kind of like, why are we waiting? But they were just waiting for a butler to come and like carry our carry-ons, talk to us about what was going on. Use an elevator. All yacht club guests and butlers have priority elevator access with their cards. The elevators come faster. They take us there, take us to the room. The yacht club experience starts off the ship.
It sounds like something my daughter would just
I would
like
love it. I mean,
vibe with.
even in Cozumel, there was somebody waiting for or waiting outside for yacht club guests, and just like grabbed me and dragged me to the front of the security line, and I was just like, okay,
That's the vibe.
I will follow you. And after those peanut butter tequila shots at Rasta's, I was glad to get back on the ship quickly.
I'm sure you were. Well, that was amazing. I cannot wait for us to chat more in depthly about MSC because you and I had some questions. Like we asked our your MSC rep that was on here, and curious to see how your market differs a little bit for them. And we'll
Yeah,
have a big, huge MSC powwow
I love it.
when I come back. So
I love it.
excited for that. So let's talk about some of these news articles. So we've got the Bahamas, Jamaica travel advisories. Um,
Yeah, so the in both cases, the United States has did not raise the level of the advisory. So if you haven't noticed or been paying attention, the Bahamas is at a level 2, which is exercised increased caution, and the Jamaica is at level 3, reconsider travel. Both are because of criminal activity. Jamaica is a bit more about like sexual assaults. So I just kind of thought it was worth pointing it out and having a discussion about one, if you were going to do a cruise and stopped at these ports, how would your experience change? And two, if you were visiting an all-inclusive resort at one of these ports, the Sandals is at both of these. There's secret. I mean, there's a lot of resorts at both of these if your experience would be different. And we're going to lump in for the Bahamas, even the non all inclusive, such as Atlantis and Baha Mar. So let's start with cruise, Haley. So if you were on a cruise and you stopped in Jamaica or the Bahamas, what would you do differently, if anything?
For me, I don't think it's any different than what I do now. I'm very cognizant of making plans. Obviously, I don't do a lot of cruise ship excursions. Picking and researching reputable travel partners to work with. And I don't want to say that I don't take it seriously when there's something like this, but I think so many people get caught up in this hype of like, oh my gosh, it's so unsafe. But like, you need to take some time and look at the travel advisories that other countries have for like the US.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I have my like feeling about it. Like, I mean, you travel a lot. One of the first questions I always get if I'm meeting somebody internationally that's not from the US is like, do you want a gun? What are your thoughts on guns? you know, did your kid feel safe at school? Like,
I've gotten that many. I have a good friend of mine. He's from the UK and he's in Miami right now. And there was the giant banner for like gun sales, and he was like, like tell me you're in America, not in America. So yeah, you're right. I mean, you are correct.
Yeah, for me, I'm not changing a whole lot because I mean, I even get the question about going to Europe with everything that's rocking and rolling, and and I also have friends that are going for the first time, and they're like, "Oh, well, what about what's going on with the Houthi and this?" And it's like they're not going to be coming to see you in Tuscany, I promise.
No,
Like it's not going to be a thing.
no,
Um,
not at all, not at
yeah.
all.
So I
So
mean, that's me. But what about you?
no, I agree. I mean, Jamaica isn't always the safest place for LGBT Americans, anyways. So, like, I went to Jamaica last year for a work conference, stayed on property. I felt fine. I felt totally safe. I was with other people. It was at a Seekers, which is a Hyatt on property. I felt completely
Yeah.
safe there, totally safe. The Bahamas. I mean, I would still go to the Grand Hyatt Baha Mar in a heartbeat, right? And it's just,
Yeah.
be aware of your surroundings. I would still go. And if you're doing a cruise and you are concerned and you're going with children, that's when I would, either do something with a cruise line tour or work with your travel advisor to work with a reputable partner tour operator to, organize it safely if you're worried about going out on your own. So
I
that's
agree.
that's kind of it. So, well, some good news for those needing global entry. So, Dulles in DC is the first airport that's rolling out global entry interviews for those who have been conditionally pre-approved.
I almost hit airport code, Jason.
IAD. I cheated. I just saw it.
Yay.
I just saw it. I just saw
Okay.
it. That one always gets me, but I just saw it. I cheated. So this is great news. As you know, when you sign up for global entry, sometimes it can be a hassle. So I love that they are letting you do this for departures for international flights. So if you
I
don't
mean,
know,
that's one of my tips for people that are
yeah,
doing global entry, especially coming from. I mean, I don't live in the sticks here. Like, we've got a decent sized population, but we're not a metro. And sometimes getting that global entry interview at the border,
hmm
it's really tight. Like when I did Olivia's this past summer, she has global entry. I looked at Detroit's schedule. We had a 6 hour layover and we just popped over to the
right,
Evans terminal, did it, and came right back through.
right,
So I think that's a great option.
right. So if ID is in you're close to you and you're flying internationally, that's a great one. So this next one I think is very interesting because we've noticed a trend. So Region 7 Seas is partnering with an Aston Martin Formula One team with branding, partnership, ads. Like it's Formula One is huge outside the country and it is really gaining popularity inside the United States. Especially with the Vegas partnership, they're committed to doing races in Vegas. So I just thought it was just a bigger question of why are we seeing cruise lines partner with sports, right? MSC is big with just Formula One in general. Royal Caribbean partnered with the Miami MLS Soccer Club. MSC is partnering with the Dolphins. Like, what is going on here with this trend of cruise lines partnering with sporting leagues and teams?
I think it's a marketing thing.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, if I'm thinking in sales and marketing hat here, um, those types of groups tend to do group things together. They group travel to games. They group travel for meetups. That's
Right.
where my brain goes.
Yeah, and Pam just jumped in here on YouTube and said on the Icon inaugural they were selling the Miami soccer jerseys and they were selling. I mean, I saw pictures of the lines to purchase these jerseys, and they probably made a fortune on those things. So I mean, of course, it's all about marketing. It's introducing people who don't know the brand. I just think it's interesting that there's just like it's just been gangbusters, and now even like Regent, a brand that you know it's not that they don't need to advertise. It's just it's a luxury product that you don't see them on TV that much.
Yeah.
It's just they advertise differently. So, just thought that was an interesting take on we're seeing this partnership with sports leagues explode. So, Haley, this last one has me thinking: is it worth cheating on my beloved Delta if I'm in New York? So, JetBlue announced today that if you book Mint, which is their version of business class for the long haul flights, lay down bed, and I've heard Mint is amazing. They will come get you in a helicopter from Manhattan and take you to JFK or Newark as part of the experience. Typically, it costs around like $200 for the transfers. This is included in the Mint purchase. So, as someone who has been in Manhattan and took a cab to JFK
That's
more than
expensive.
once,
Long.
it's a long, long haul from Manhattan to JFK. I think this is awesome. I would love to be in a helicopter to
I
JFK.
would do that. My husband would never in a million years do that. He'd walk before we did it. I think it's neat. And I mean, I've seen so many of those like videos on Instagram of people pulling up like Uber and showing the helicopter as the quicker and even cheaper option at times to go places.
I think that is awesome. I am dying for someone that we know in our community to do this. So someone please
Someone,
book. Hey, can't be me. I have those MQDs to catch, right? Can't be
no,
me.
we know it's not you. There's somebody else I think that you and I are mutually in contact with
That is
that
true.
might be an admin in this group.
That is true, especially if he's requalified for executive platinum already for the year.
Well, I'm loving our tip of the day because I'm actually having this conversation with people like in my cruise group for my cruise next month on MSC. Um, Caribbean, you don't deal with it quite as much.
Mm-hmm.
But so many people look at these cruise itineraries and they're like, oh, we're going to Rome,
Right.
not realizing that Civitavecchia is an hour and 20 minutes away.
Thank you for not making me say it.
I did it. I did you a solid.
Chichitavecchia.
I just sent you that video on my list. There's this guy that was talking about it. He's like, I hate trying to say this every time he's talking about it. He's like, Chivy Cherry Cola, Chivy Chase. Like,
Chichitavecchia. No, I mean, so we see this, with, there are a lot of cruise ports, and a lot of times it's in Europe. It's the, oh, we're docked in Venice/Florence. Like, you're in La Spezia, and it's a haul. Oh, our cruise is leaving from Venice. You're in Ravenna. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Miss Italian here.
yeah, Ravina
It's like, so it can be a
or
haul.
Maestra.
Yeah. And look, we have it in America, right? How many people, Pam beat me to it. Orlando, right? Like, oh, our cruise leaves from Orlando. You leave from Port Canaveral. It's an hour away. So, just keep that in mind. I don't think it's as big of a deal for pre-cruise. I mean, the Venice one it's a haul. Rome is a haul. I think the bigger issue is when you do a cruise, maybe leaves from like Barcelona and Rome is a port.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have just gotten off the ship and been like, "Where's the Coliseum?" Where it's like it's an hour and a half away. So
And then it's just, an understanding what's available. So, I mean, like, especially with those, like you said, the international destinations, like, you need to look because transfers and stuff book up quick.
Oh, when I was
Like, I
in,
kind of am a rule of thumb if it's not in the Caribbean, like, you really need to do some planning ahead of time and at least get your lay of the land and understand.
I
Um,
don't. I did have that one Mediterranean cruise. I didn't know anything of what I was doing, and I was texting you every day. What should I do at this place? You sent me to Monaco. It was fantastic.
I mean,
and I bought a pair of red bottoms. It was great. It was great.
I mean,
So
like even that area though is easier to get around than like
I mean, but that took.
yeah.
But even, I mean, that's a great point. So even that port, we stopped in Villafrance, I believe.
Or I thought you were in Nice.
No, because remember, I
Oh
had
yeah, yeah.
it was the
But there's like
train.
a train and a bus that run
Yep, it was
along
easy.
that
We waited
part.
on the
So
train, took us all the way to Monaco, and we got on the train. We took it past Villafrance because we missed the port or the stop. Went to Nice, and then took it back. So yeah, so but that takes planning, right? You get off as Villafrance doesn't have a ton right there, right? So if you want to go to
yeah.
Monaco, it just takes some planning. So that's always just keep in mind where you're leaving from in your cruise itinerary. It could be a haul. That's it. So
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I
love
will
it.
try to join next week. I don't know
Yes,
where I'm at
you're
yet.
in the Caribbean next week with
Yep, I'm a
Princess.
Caribbean princess.
Love it. I love it. Well,
It's a
Haley,
few
if
days, so
you
I don't know how it is, but we will see. We're going to be doing a very big comparison with an older versus a newer princess ship. I'm slumming it in an interior for
oof,
the sake of
oof,
an experiment and saving money for Europe next month.
I wasn't
That's
gonna
my
tell
problem.
anybody. I wasn't gonna tell anybody, but you did. So
Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna lay myself bare. It's gonna be, but honest, open, and honest, because not everybody always has
yep,
the funds for the suites and stuff like
yep.
that. And transparently, Jeff and I have done an interior before because we were able to go on that February break, which is so expensive, for $700. I'm like, that's worth getting some sunshine.
Well,
In
I
my
mean,
opinion.
we didn't talk about this, but on some MSC ships in Yacht Club, they have interior yacht club rooms. So the ship I just did had rooms, and I kind of peeked in one, and it was actually a pretty. It was almost like an interior suite. It was pretty large. And if
Yeah.
I was traveling solo, like if you and Jeff were in a suite with the balcony and yacht club, I was going solo, I could see me doing an
I mean,
inside.
I would do it. I mean, Jeff and I have had that conversation. So,
I would do it. I would do it. So have a great time. If we don't see you, we'll see you here in 2 weeks. And then hopefully we do. But if not, I'll be here next week. Guys,
all
have
right.
a fantastic day and hope to see you out there traveling somewhere exciting very soon. Take care.
Bye.